What is going on, guys? It is Wrestlelamia here, back with some more news. Join us now as we look at the 14th June edition of Raw, as well as the wildest news stories and rumors you need to know, including WWE splitting up a couple, sad news regarding Kurt Angle, the mysterious reason why there was a hand underneath the ring, why Kevin Owens is taking a leave of absence, and much more. And be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell for daily wrestling videos, and follow us on Facebook for exclusive lists. Now, as always, we aren't recapping the matches, but just providing you with the good, the bad, and the downright ugly. As always, we start off with the good as number 1, Hell in a Cell trifecta. And last night's Raw competed in a Hell in a Cell trifecta, with the WWE running Hell in a Cell matches on SmackDown, Sunday's pay-per-view, and of course yesterday's Raw. Yeah, we think it was a terrible idea to air Cell matches on free TV, but once the WWE made the decision to run Reigns vs Rey on SmackDown, they probably had no choice but to air one on USA Network. NBC Universal, which owns the USA Network and Peacock, was reportedly unhappy with SmackDown getting a Cell match, and it's likely they were none too thrilled to have a main event match pulled from the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view, denying the Peacock network of a top match and giving it to rival network Fox. While the WWE's booking was bad, the match between Xavier Woods and WWE Champion Bobby Lashley was a big opportunity to showcase Woods' single skills and build up the Kofi Kingston vs Lashley match at Money in the Bank. Watching the build up to Woods and Lashley's match, fans couldn't help but wonder if Woods' remark that Lashley doesn't consider himself to be at the same level as Kofi might be some foreshadowing for the Woods-Kofi split the WWE has been teasing. Number 2, a real Raw miracle. Hallelujah, Raw didn't have any rematches last night, unlike the past weeks' show with endless rematches that served no purpose other than to fill time. Last night's show featured a number of engaging matches, and while it's too early to tell if Vince McMahon's rumoured edict that every match has to have a storyline behind it has gone into effect, it certainly seemed so last night. Number 3, giving Nikki the benefit of the doubt. Super Nikki. Well, at this point, we aren't sure if this will be a good thing in the long run or a bad thing, but if anyone can pull it off, it's Nikki Kross, whose exuberance and talent playing a goofy over-the-top comedic character suggests she'll pull this one off. Her performance last night was good, and it's always good to see Kross get some television time as she's one of the better undercard workers. Knowing Nikki, she pitched this idea herself. Actually, she did, as Karrion Kross actually confirmed this, and if it gives her screen time, so much the better. While a Kross vs Bliss superhero vs demonic villain feud seems inevitable, we'll enjoy this for now. I guess most of you guys thought that would be in the ugly, didn't you? I can let some stuff slide at least. Number 4, the almighty era continues. Lashley is a beast, and the WWE served up another reminder as the Almighty became the first WWE superstar to win back-to-back Hell in a Cell matches after disposing Drew McIntyre on Sunday and Xavier Woods last night. The WWE has built Lashley up as a monster, but one who can be beat. The problem is that wrestlers not only have to get through Lashley, they have to deal with outside interference from MVP. Number 5, an odd but magnificent match. Drew vs Riddle was a match that shows that both McIntyre and Riddle are two of the WWE's most versatile wrestlers. McIntyre went from working a marvelous match with powerhouse wrestler Bobby Lashley on Sunday and worked an equally entertaining match with Riddle the next night, despite Riddle being a much different opponent. It's good to see the WWE put on occasional face versus face or heel versus heel bouts. But that was the good. What about the badders? Number 1, Doudrop. Are they really going with that name? While it's good to see a female wrestler who isn't a bodacious blonde bombshell that populate both Raw and SmackDown, why saddle her with such a stupid name when she could have simply gone as Piper Niven? Rumour has it that Doudrop is slang for a woman who enjoys a romantic relationship with other women, which doesn't bode well given the WWE's lack of sensitivity in any storyline involving adult relationships. However, it's kind of obvious that she will turn on Eva Marie, as a reaction to the name was fairly obvious that she hated it. I guess that's the only good thing that can come out of this, isn't it? Number 2, tag team qualifiers for a singles match. Last night's Raw featured a number of excellent matches and segments to drive storylines. However, their decision to use tag team matches to determine the qualifiers for a singles match, Money in the Bank, was a missed opportunity for some exciting singles matches and a disservice to the women's division. It's clear that the WWE didn't want to devote the time for its women to compete in enough singles matches to determine the qualifiers for Money in the Bank, so they stuck them in tag team matches with the winning team's members advancing to the women's match. There was also the baffling booking decision to give newcomers Eva Marie and Doudrop an opportunity to compete in the prestigious match when there are other women who could be wrestling. Now, seriously, there's no downright ugly. Incredibly, last night's Raw featured no ugly segments, which is refreshing after weeks of downright awful Raws full of wretched rematches and boring storylines. Last night's Raw was one of the best episodes of the Red Brand all year and an excellent follow-up to the well-received Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. Of course, the idea of any post-pay-per-view show is to book a strong one so fans will stick around for the following week. Last night's show delivered, and it also helped fans get ready for July's Money in the Bank ladder matches, including a number of surprise entrants such as Riddle and Ricochet. Now, we're unsure whether last night's Raw was an improvement because the show couldn't get any worse from where it's been in the last several weeks, or the WWE is finally making some efforts to duplicate SmackDown's success in creating long-term storylines and booking its undercard to entertain the fans rather than to kill time. What did you guys think of Raw last night? Let us know in the comments down below. Now let's move on to the news. Our first story looks at WWE wanting to split up Karrion, Kross and Scarlett. Our first story has to do with current NXT champion Karrion Kross and valet Scarlett. With rumours of Kross being prepped for a jump to the main roster, there are also rumours that the on-screen and real-life couple may be split up when they get promoted. The Wrestling Observer is reporting both Karrion Kross and Bronson Reed worked matches on main event prior to tonight's episode of Raw. Kross defeated Shelton Benjamin in a match that Dave Meltzer had reported earlier in the afternoon. Scarlett, the manager of Kross, was not at ringside for the match. In the second main event match, Bronson Reed defeated Drew Gulak. The site also noted Scarlett is being talked for a tryout of her own on Friday. Reed, Scarlett and Kross were also a part of the SmackDown tapings this past Friday. It's unknown whether WWE would want to split up the pair, but it's possible Vince McMahon sees Scarlett as a distraction from Karrion's act, or that Scarlett could do more as a wrestler than she could as a valet. Do you think the WWE should split them up? Let us know in the comments down below. Next up, where's Damien Priest? Now, the Archer of Infamy has been missing in action, although he hasn't reached Keith Lee levels of being missing in action, leading to speculation why he's been off Raw after a strong debut. According to Fightful Select, Priest is not injured as some rumours claim, but due to other reasons. Fightful reports Priest could be back as soon as next week depending on whether the WWE has a storyline for him. And it's not a good sign for a wrestler to disappear after debuting with such a strong angle. It's also not good if a wrestler is misused due to lack of ideas. Next up, sad news for Kurt Angle. And sad news concerning WWE Hall of Famer Kurt Angle, as wrestling's Olympic hero is apparently dealing with severe pain. During a Q&A session on his Kurt Angle Show podcast, he revealed, "I'm in extreme pain all day long. I do maintenance on my body all day. I do my neck traction. I have a thing called the iron neck where it trains your neck. I have anti-gravity machine rollers. I stretch. I do a lot of weight training. I work on my body a good 2 to 3 hours a day. I have to, I'm so banged up now." As fans know, Angle wrestled in the Olympics with a freaking broken neck and competed in the pro ranks while injured. Thus, it's no surprise when Angle revealed, "I sacrificed a lot of my body in professional wrestling and amateur wrestling. I have to blame both sports, not just one. I'm paying for it now, but I'm managing it. I had a painkiller problem and I kicked that 8 years ago. Not having painkillers anymore is really difficult, but I'm never going back to those, nor do I want to. I'm going to keep doing my body maintenance, training, and doing what I'm doing right now." Fans wondering why Angle isn't wrestling need look no further than Angle's recent revelation. Next up, why there was a random hand. Now, if you watched Hell in a Cell's Drew McIntyre vs Bobby Lashley cage match, you may have seen the mysterious hand that appeared from under the ring after Lashley chokeslammed McIntyre off the mat apron and threw a table at ringside. As we speculated in our video on Hell in a Cell, Goose and Gas, the hand belonged to a member of the ring crew who slid some piece of broken table around McIntyre for better aesthetic. Eagle-eyed fans also noticed the WWE used a crash pad for McIntyre's bump, a move which some fans criticized as they rather have the WWE superstars take sick bumps with no protection, which is just silly. And finally, the reason behind Kevin Owens' absence. Kevin Owens announced that he's taking time off following his loss to Sami Zayn at Hell in a Cell. However, is Owens taking time off to heal from an injury, for some vacation time, or something else? Well, Dave Meltzer commented on Owens' announcement, revealing on the Wrestling Observer Radio that he's taking time off, but I was told it's storyline related, so there you go. There's no word on when Owens is coming back or what the storyline purpose is for his absence. But there you have it, guys, the good, the bad and the downright ugly from this week's Raw, as well as the wildest wrestling news stories and rumors you need to know. Be sure to leave your comments down below, and I'll see you next time with some more wrestling content.